It's 5:45 in the morning, and just look at these views, man. So majestic. I low-key need to get a pair of sunglasses, but let's get into the video, shall we? Today marks 50 days without pornography, 29 days without masturbation. And for the first time in what feels like years, there's a silence in my mind that doesn't scare me. A stillness that doesn't feel like emptiness, but like returning, coming home to myself. Porn was the ghost that I kept feeding. It offered a flicker of escape, a counterfeit intimacy, a hit of control. But underneath the surface, it wasn't about sex. It was about avoiding silence, avoiding self. A quiet desperation not to face the ache that I felt in solitude. Look, there's a swan. I didn't want to be alone, especially with my thoughts. So I turned to the screen again and again. Each time it carved a deeper groove in my brain, and I told myself I was in control. But in truth, I was fragmenting. And then came the Benzo withdrawal, and with it, the collapse of every illusion. No sedation, no filter, just a storm of my nervous system breaking open. The insomnia, the panic, the emotional whiplash. It felt like my entire being was on fire, and all my old coping mechanisms came clawing back. Weed, porn, dopamine, numbness. But somewhere in that chaos, something ancient in me whispered, no more. No more chasing, no more abandoning myself for short-term comfort. No more forgetting who I am. When I quit cannabis, it all became clear. I had spent years not just sedating my pain, but also my potential. By avoiding discomfort, I was also avoiding growth. I wasn't just hiding from trauma, I was hiding from transformation. And that realization changed everything. So I made a vow to feel, to stay, to walk through the fire instead of running from it. And it hasn't been easy. Some days are quiet, some are loud, some filled with peace, some filled with temptation. But each time I choose presence over escape, something in me strengthens. I'm no longer leaking energy into false connections. I'm reclaiming that energy, redirecting it into my breath, my discipline, my becoming. My workouts are sharper, my focus lasts longer, my creativity flows without guilt, and I can look myself in the eye again, not just in the mirror, but in my soul. I'm not perfect, I'm not healed, but I'm present, and that's more sacred than any fantasy I ever chased. Porn rewires you, but so does patience, so does intentional practice, so does choosing again and again to stay with yourself. If you're watching this and you're in the dark, whether it's addiction, withdrawal, or just the weight of being lost, I want you to know this: you're not broken, you're becoming. There's a light inside of you that no screen, no substance, no shortcut can replace. This path I walk is not about purity or perfection. It's about reclaiming what was always mine: my attention, my energy, my soul. This is about growth over perfection, and I'm not turning back. And I always like to end these videos on a positive note. I just want to give you guys the message that every action you take, every decision you make is about for your future self. So ask yourself, who do you want to be? And remember that the sun always rises even through the darkest of nights. Today is a good day. Just look at that, man. Look at how beautiful Mother Nature is. And never forget, the sun always rises even through the darkest of nights.